everybody to this Milburn Township Planning Board meeting in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. Be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board at Town Hall and serving the officially designated newspapers a list of the meeting dates annually, indicating that this meeting would take place at the Milburn Board of Education Center building at 7:30 p.m. on November 5th, 2025. Could I please have a roll call?
Corey Biller,
Here.
Allison Canfield. Are we, they returned?
There's a problem. The speaker was buzzing. So we turned them off. That device had been told by Alex McDonald to pick us up irrespective of his microphone. So you could really just
Here.
people in the audience.
Speak louder. Here.
Michael Cohen,
Here.
Jorge Mastro-Petro, Deborah Neves,
Here.
Frank Sacamandi,
Here.
Michael Zion, Jonathan Baxter,
Here.
Sergey Sidsko,
Here.
Srini Vijay,
Here.
Chair Gaston Hopper.
Here. All right, we have several items on the agenda this evening: approval of minutes, couple resolution to adopt an executive session, an application, and an ordinance to analyze for consistency. First off, the approval of minutes from 9/17/2025. Did everybody receive the minutes? And were there any questions or comments? I will make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for 9/17/2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We also received the meeting minutes for the executive session on 9/17/2025. Assuming everyone received those as well. Were there any questions or comments? I'll make a motion to approve the executive session minutes from 9/17/2025. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, the first resolution that we have on the agenda is not quite finished, so we're going to carry that one to the next session. That's the memorialization of resolution application 25002, preliminary and final site plan with C variance of the Canoe Country Club, 1108 Morris Turnpike, block 5304, lot 1. Again, we're carrying that to the next session. The next up for the resolutions is the memorialization of resolution for application 25003, preliminary and final site plan with C variance for CCATS Fit LLC, CCATS Fit Gym on 535 Milburn Ave, block 1706, lot 2. Did everybody have a chance to go over the resolution? Were there any questions or comments? I will, pardon me, make a motion to adopt the memorialization or the resolution for application 25003. Do I have a second?
Second.
Let's just bring the roll call vote, please.
Corey Biller,
Yes.
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Deborah Neves,
Yes.
Frank Sacamandi,
Yes.
Jonathan Baxter,
Yes.
Srini Vijay,
Yes.
Gaston Hopper.
Yes. Okay, and next up on our agenda, we would like to meet briefly in an executive session. I promise it should be as brief or less than the time we took last time. So Steve, could you please guide us through that?
Sure, I'll abbreviate the resolution that's on file. It is an executive session. It's necessary for the planning board to go into executive session under the Open Public Meetings Act of pending litigation. So now therefore be it resolved, the public shall be excluded from the discussion involving pending litigation, specifically the High Center for Living Judaism versus Township of Milburn et al. Docket number 23 dash, bear with me, CV dash 1833. It's anticipated that the deliberations conducted in closed session will be disclosed to the public upon a determination by the board that the public interest in will no longer be served by such confidentiality, and the resolution shall take effect immediately. As with all resolutions, Mr. Chairman, a motion and second and roll call vote to go into executive.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Corey Diller,
Yes.
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Michael Cohen,
Yes.
Deborah Nevis,
Yes.
Frank Sacamandi,
Yes.
Jonathan Baxter,
Yes.
Sergey Sixto,
Yes.
Srini Vijay,
Yes.
Gaston Hopper.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I certainly don't.
That's right.
Are you though?
Have fun. I'm out of that one.
You get to exempt yourself, Eric?
Yeah,
Alright.
because it's that application why I'm sitting here. I objected to it.
Oh, really? Going back to Hopewell on the 20th, I'm hoping that that's the end,
Okay,
so
hope so. 20th of this month?
November, yeah,
Okay,
that should be the end.
yeah.
See what happens. It's big, it's such a big job, man. I went to the site, you don't realize how big it is.
Yeah, I've looked at the plans. I mean, it's huge.
But compared to the one they did to the north of it, it's like not even close. The other one's like 1,100 units. It's like 500 acres. This one's like 100 and like 70.
Yeah, but it's still 600 and something units,
Oh, 600
Plus-
acres.
plus the one that they built over on,
Oh, yeah, they plus the collection too.
yeah, that's the one I'm talking.
Yeah.
Because we did that.
Yeah.
I mean, between the three of them, it's like over 2,000 housing units
And there's still more. Along that corridor, there's still more. That's approved.
along Federal
Along
or
Scotch
or
Road.
Scotch Road.
Yeah, the former Merrill Lynch, hopefully not too long.
This should do. Okay. Okay. Want to go home. Been a long week, and it's
Yeah.
only Wednesday. Have to go to Freehold tomorrow night for payoff.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
have Hoboken tomorrow. Yeah, we said not last night off, right?
Huh?
Last night you got off.
Well, not exactly.
Politics stuff. That's their events.
Yeah. My one partner ran for council in Sparta
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
won,
Okay, okay.
so. Cause he doesn't have enough to do. Better him than me.
Now you have the offices in Cedar Knolls, and then you're also in like Middlesex, right, county?
Actually, well, our office is in Parsippany now
Oh, really?
and Freehold.
Freehold, that's where Sean is, right?
Yeah, Sean's in Freehold. Yeah. And then we have one of our traffic offices in Burlington. And we have an MEP office in Chemung.
And you still have West Orange?
No, I've been out of West Orange for,
I mean,
It's-
South Orange. I'm sorry.
yes, I'm still in South Orange. That was Monday night.
Right.
And thankfully, the zoning board meeting, which was tonight, because usually it's
So how many-
Tuesday.
How many boards do you have now?
Planning, zoning here, staying at 4.
Okay.
It's enough.
Yeah. You're going down to the league in 2 weeks?
Yes,
You stay multiple days or just go there?
go down Tuesday morning, I'll come home
You get,
Thursday.
you take classes to get some credits and everything? You
They
just
don't
like-
really have any
You just
for,
like schmooze or whatever?
yeah.
My dad still goes down to AC to a lot of those like conferences to get like his like continuing education stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the league has never really had anything for engineers.
Yeah.
You know, the builders, I do,
They have more.
I do the one seminar every year.
Yeah.
So. Carry on the tradition of Tony D.
Yeah. The South Orange self-storage came out really nice.
Yeah,
Have you seen it?
yeah, yeah, it did come out nice.
I would never admit that to Phil Abramson, but it did come out.
Where did they put that one, Jason? Or is that?
It's next to the park on Valley Road. It looks like, they made it look like an old industrial building. It actually looks really nice.
It's a corner of Valley and Lackawanna.
Yeah, it's right next, it like abuts a park, so like, there's all these like community features to it, like a movie screen on the wall that they could use, there's like a community room. There's like a few little, things that they incorporated into the design, because it was near the park, and it was a redevelopment project. So they had the ability to do that, so.
Yeah.
But it did come out really nice.
It did. Took a while, but.
Yeah, right, smooth along, you're good, everything's great, project's fine.
All in my letter, I mean, just relax, Jason, I mean, geez.
You got some help there?
Yeah.
You guys still ask them, please. You saw them. Oh, where did you go?
It's just the way it moves.
That's just normal, Jason.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Of course. You have time, might as well.
Plus I have to bust his chops.
He's worked with me, he's worked with my dad. Have you seen Steiger lately?
No,
I think he's doing a lot better.
is he? Well, that's good.
I think he's still working,
Is he?
but I think he made like a pretty, like almost full recovery.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
So,
You know what, I was gonna say, yes. The main one is Matt. Yeah.
Six stars who had children while they were still teens, or six. Alicia Keaton.
Hey, trying to stay awake here. Once you keep that kid.
don't listen to that crap.
I just watched reels about 6'7".
I didn't know what that was, and my wife's a teacher, and she goes, you know what that is?
I don't know what it is either, I just think it's funny.
She's a high school teacher.
Just, if you wanna see a funny one, the YouTube, the South Park 6'7". It's hysterical.
South Park is making crazy stuff. They're about to get kids.
I didn't know they were still making episodes.
Oh, yeah.
They'll never end.
Big contract by Paramount.
Really?
There's $1 billion, right?
Yeah, $1 billion.
$1 billion, and they're not stopping anytime soon.
25.
Just say Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, The Simpsons has been on for like 40 years.
Yeah, Simpsons is going strong. They predict everything. Super Grey is after Derek died.
Yes, that's what he gave up.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I unfortunately still watch.
I've watched it since I was 14, I can't stop now, you know?
I was
Are the main characters still there?
Yeah.
Meredith is like the actress is now a producer of the show, so she's not really in a lot of episodes, but they've made it where she's kind of like, yeah. She does the voiceover of the other characters.
Jason, have you opened up the Long Island?
No, I'll tell you about my Long Island experiences when I was at a big firm one day, and you'll know why I refused.
Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Kimco's, it was in Jericho.
We're in Jericho.
Yeah.
Well, we have offices in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and a lot in South, but our main one is in Jericho.
You're in the same building that I was in my first law job.
Yes, many of them do this. Oh, you do this one. One more to go. Just rolled my eyes and said, maybe. I don't know, I still work for Snowfield, so.
Join the team. I don't think that people recommend them, so.
Then be that way.
Are you with the program? Oh, great.
I don't know. I don't know other engineers who like would work in my design. Please.
What there's no. What do you mean, like, they're engineering company?
So we just had to do a thorough program because these are bonus.
They're gonna close that.
Oh, we
And they
do.
stay for, it's like, you get,
So
We're
we're
working-
Yeah, we.
I was my nephew who goes to Wisconsin. I'm like at a party with his friends. I'm like, is anyone an engineer? He's on the football team. He's like, no, I'm just an engineer.
She's very broad though, engineering. If you're civil.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can sit them, so.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very broad, so very broad.
My town talks with the county. It was like, it started before it was announced, so it was a running joke. Like, I was willing to sit there and get out because he's a twin.
You guys see this?
No, like they like, they kind of dragged it on, and he's like, I have another offer, and they're like, you don't really need to extend your accounting, you're like kind of doing some papers, so if you're not for, then you take it. And then they had, they like, you know, if anyone were like your first on the list, we could chat to. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Chris Perry, he said, what the, can you imagine making a school time to go to college? Yeah, Asking questions and it's this is. But they know to expand what they do. This is not just high school, they're not, they went to like, into it.
Yeah, that way you can just refer back. Yeah. You see it. You see it. Oh, so you got it.
We would just the average, the bad, we have to speak to the job.
We got me back.
That goes up.
When I was back up on the project.
So.
Why don't you can start? Where was that?
There's
Like what town?
This is right next to the.
No.
When Bob O'Leo.
What was that called? I would have only, I would have only been involved, like I've been doing your work, I would say now for almost 10 years, but it's been. But only when they do the development side of it, you know what I mean, like I wouldn't get involved in something like that.
the lease.
No.
No, that's.
They do that a lot internally, I think, too.
That's the lease, when it comes to lease stuff, that's only internal.
No, who's it? You hired a lawyer.
It's, but most of the
I had
time,
to hire a lawyer too.
most of the times they're internal team. They, our internal team hires a lawyer if it's in another state that, like New Jersey.
Yes, I mean, it was that kind of law.
So you said your son's at Duke now?
Yeah,
Was he there last year?
now he just.
So this is freshman year?
Yeah.
So he's gonna see the Boozer twins play? That should be fun.
Boozer, the one.
Yeah, it's Caden or Cameron, one is like a little bit better, I forgot which one. The bigger one,
Yeah,
the one that's not the point guard.
he had, so last night he had 15 and 13
Yeah,
against Tennessee, like a practice game, he had 23 rebounds and 24 points.
look, the dad was really good.
Yeah, he was. He was after my time. I went there too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I missed all the great teams.
Did you go there before Hurley? You didn't go there before Hurley.
Hurley was a senior when I was a freshman.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they had just won 2. They went to the final.
So you saw Grant Hill?
Yeah. My sophomore year, they went to the finals. Or no, yeah, my sophomore, so his senior year. But that was it, they sucked. Virginia sucked.
Yeah, was that when they played with, was that when they?
You went to Maryland?
They did.
They were good back then.
Well, yeah, we left the ACC by sophomore.
Joe Smith or the franchise. Yeah.
Well, they won it when they had, what's his name, Juan Dixon. That was like in 2002.
Maryland won it.
No,
Yeah, they won in 20.
yeah, not when you were in college though.
Now I'm saying, I remember when they had Len,
Bias.
Fire, no,
Yeah,
no.
that was it, that was.
No,
that was
no,
in
no, I'm talking about Jim McMillan and, there's like, they had 2 big centers. And that was Lefty Brazil, I think it was when he just.
Oh, yeah, that's like, but Len Bias,
That's how the whole thing.
but Len Bias was gonna be the take Larry Bird's spot.
Yeah, but then he,
Yeah,
there was another guy, there were two centers, I think Len Elmore, I think was his name.
Oh, yeah, he played in the NBA.
Yeah, the two big guys, Maryland. Then they had a guy who played tennis, he was like their point guard.
Oh, you know who's good? Steve Blake played on Maryland, remember?
Yeah.
Steve Blake. But you're right, when after Grant Hill left, then they had like the Wojciechowski years. And they weren't that good when
Yeah.
Wojciechowski was there.
And Cherokee Parks.
Yeah.
And then what?
Trajan Langdon.
No, I know, he was there. He was good, no, they were good. Langdon was like a freshman when I was a senior.
Yeah.
They were awesome after I left, 97.
Well, that's when they got like Elton Brand and like Jay Williams and like Battier, William Avery, Corey Maggette.
Those were like their best.
They only won it once with Land, I think.
Yeah.
Jason Williams,
Losing to Utah.
Jason Williams would have been a Hall of Fame player if he didn't get injured.
Yeah.
He was an unbelievable talent.
Couldn't shoot.
He was a real, and he's done well for himself as a broadcaster, but
No, he was all world.
he was from Jersey, he was from Plainview.
Dunleavy was another.
Yeah, Dunleavy was good.
Sometimes I'm taking, like, subway into the city. I'm just-
It's not bad, it's not bad. Last year's team was really good, that sucked.
We live in County.
There we go.
That's, you know who was like a bust, what's his name, the guy that went to the Sixers?
Gotta get.
Were you getting back?
This is more recent, I forgot his, not Jabari Parker, he was a bust too. But the other guy that went to the Sixers, the Okafor, Jaleel Okafor, he was such a good college player.
Yeah.
But now it's like, the good college players aren't really, you can't even associate them with their team, because they're there for 1 year and then they
Yeah,
leave.
it sucked. Totally agree, and like, the guys that played 4 years, play on 3 years team.
They played 5 years sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, not, I thought you meant less than a year.
No.
Like I remember when Leighton was like
I'm impressed.
coming back in a year and they added Hurley and then they added Grant Hill and then.
Yeah, I did that. I got engaged to you.
I wish I did that.
I won 13 months.
I didn't wanna try it out either.
And when the Big East was a lot of fun to watch.
The Big East and the ACC are both.
Yeah. When you watch the 30 for 30s on those.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was.
You got to see, like, you don't realize how fun of a time that was to watch.
Or you, long time ago, it was the Big Five, five Philadelphia school.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't play in the Western.
Wow.
Temple.
What's that, Temple, St. Joe's,
Villanova.
LaSalle,
I know my
Villanova.
anniversary to fall on.
Play,
We
we
got
used to play in Western.
Alright.
These double headers. Wild
It's
card.
just that, no fancy, no football.
Also, my.
City behind a pillar in Kansas City.
Friday was a great day, but. Guess what? We gotta take off here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dennis, did you grow up in this area or?
I grew up in Burnsville, so.
Well, yeah, mine's in February, I'm getting winter.
I moved out here in 08. Lived in Short Hills for 10 years. So.
I haven't booked it yet, I don't know the art.
I went to Kimco Jack.
I should do this executive session after the application.
Which application? Are you here-
out,
Are you here for ours?
I was basically hear what's going on and close the executive session.
You what?
He knows, he was what, like a year almost for those applications?
I only came to, I don't know,
He
what,
started on
three
Dec-
or
he
four?
started December 15th.
What is it for, a synagogue?
Yeah. Yeah.
You objected to a synagogue?
I'm gonna burn in hell anyhow, so I mean,
Well, we all did, you know, we were here till like 1:30 in the morning, the last hearing.
Oh my God.
but all I did was point out how deficient their stormwater analysis was. Their engineer made it very easy for me
Who
to
is their applicant?
E2PM,
I don't know who that is.
small
When I lived
outfit.
in Short Hills, I remember they put one like right in the neighborhood.
Well, this was on the corner, it was going to be on the corner of Parsonage Hill Road and Old Short Hills Road.
Who is their traffic engineer?
Hi, son.
This is.
I didn't review the traffic. I mean, I did, but not really. There wasn't. Oh, it was you guys?
Yeah.
Change the application.
Oh, really?
You know.
But it really focused on the stormwater, which was just terrible. I mean, to put it bluntly,
Wait, you were.
we wrote a 2 7-page review memos about what was deficient.
I give you credit though, you submitted them to the board,
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is why I'm sitting here.
what I got objected to, is getting objected to Hillsdale right now, and for self-storage, it's one of the most ridiculous objections I've ever had. The board, the
Don't
objective.
tell me they're objecting to the traffic.
Yes,
Oh, God.
and also, the objector experts don't provide reports before the meetings. And I have to, I mean, I know they're not subject to the 10-day rule, but it's ridiculous. They come with exhibits, yet I have to have all my stuff on file, you know what I mean, it's just.
Yeah. Oh, no, we submitted everything in advance.
It's like 10% full. There's 6 people on 50%.
You should be done with it.
You shouldn't have to drive out to do this. It's just common sense.
Oh, they,
Yeah.
the,
Kind of the same.
resolution they adjourned, that was, they had, it was Canoe Brook.
Yeah.
How long did Canoe Brook? It was a change, no, it was about tennis courts, the fan and doing. And they're here, I said, why don't you take them before, you know, it was like 45 minutes, the guy just.
You don't want any full people talking.
It's more fancy.
I mean, but, and then you got the general, manager, said we have 16 or
Yeah.
600,
It's not-
or the current members, which doesn't include real senior.
Oh, it is.
Planning board, that's too full.
Some of those people are my fiance.
And when you play, there's what you need for the north of the set 2 years. South being the north.
I probably
Yes.
live in your like ward of justice or something.
Yeah.
Everything there. I don't even know, sir. It's so, can we figure out?
Long.
Is that it's longer, or is it just an email request? For me, it's easy to have it, or just you can turn it into. It's hit far, and it's like, you don't get a lot of south, it's a little more, I think, of course.
Is like this, he is higher. It's like holes on the south side of us. You know, like you're like the holes here.
Okay,
and
it's less
here,
than like that.
now.
Okay, so it's a paper trail, that would be the second. Today, I'm trying to do like 4 new things that I can't think about, but that's one that I know you have that. Yeah.
I also.
But wherever like that is documents, is going to full language, that way, just whatever you guys. Yes, thanks. It's real today.
You were in the summit now?
There's
Want to
like
be else?
entire working.
Actually, I don't, I go there all the time, I just never really
No,
dealt
no,
with
I-
it.
When people say, everything else, they gave me by their, not.
And then there's some on the
Yeah, it's great, it's a great spot.
It's huge, I mean, they have a huge
Yeah,
membership.
it's like a $3 beer. You can't find
I
that
don't
anywhere.
know.
And you never know who you're gonna run across.
Yeah, that's a great spot.
Yeah.
That means, in town, you
Yeah.
never know who you're gonna run across.
Sat there last night, I'm sure. The local council people got smoked, which was kind of disturbing because they did a really good job.
Oh, or,
Should have really lost by too much. There's
you
just
know,
no
no
way.
sense, something goes.
13 was a lot. I thought he would lose by 3.
I think. Although here, the Republicans be back with them.
So I just think it's whoever is in charge loses, like, you know, and Cheryl was able to say she's. But one thing that really 21 really tells you. How long do they usually work for?
A half an hour. That's what it was the last time.
No, it's crazy.
I know, it was,
You know, if you got.
what was it, half an hour, 40 minutes last time for the executive session?
Over emails.
Roughly, yeah. I
Like if he'd run this year.
think they came back a little after 8 o'clock.
All I know is I take my wife back to work. She's on.
We had
She's
two
what?
She's on
applications.
Oh, she works for the government out
I
there.
can see her.
Yeah,
attorney.
we had the country club,
She's just driving crazy, no.
kind of like what you're doing. It's an existing building on Milburn Avenue that it's a change of tenancy. The guy's doing a fitness. salon.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing that. So it's a trend. Or a lot of the SLC drives around. I do. There's no- It's not the worst thing. The research is actually an excellent state trail. Yeah.
That's a big trail.
That was great. And I didn't really care. I'm a Yankee fan, but that was.
Looks like it was a boxing match.
It was, I always. Like I think in some sports, like I think the football coach matters a lot. And then the rest of them kind of like, I'm a baseball manager, that's not important, but that guy.
You said you're
Not important.
Councilman Scardo?
Mike
Like
Sylvester.
putting that guy.
I live in Andover, so.
Oh, okay.
Once,
Oh, I
guys,
do too.
Oh.
The township?
Yeah, township, yeah. I'm over by the municipal building on one side. I'm across the street from, what's the golf course?
Farmstead.
Yeah, Farm Street, in between Farmstead and the municipal building.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on Lawrence Road too. I have the horse farm. Not up by Farmstead. When you come from the municipal building, you come like a quarter mile down, it's the White Ranch.
So I live at 33, so I'm across the street from
Oh, I live at 30.
Cameron. So we're the people that shoot on the weekends all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. What a small world.
Yeah, that's crazy. What did we again?
Eric Keller.
Nice to meet you, neighbor.
Nate, nice to meet you too. You're the guys that make my horses jump.
Oh, yeah, apologies. You're the guy who we smell every once in a while when the wind comes the right way.
No, horse manure does not smell.
Let me tell the town.
They leave me alone pretty much.
Oh, yeah. They're harmless.
It's still not what I thought.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Evan Blake,
Evan Blake.
I'm a Stumpfield.
Oh, okay.
Stonefield never comes with less than 5 people.
They bring a whole team.
I get bored tonight.
We're quick.
We just group you up.
Yeah.
No, I seen two one time, two.
Alright,
It also
come on.
depends on the location, it's more than that far away.
That's true. And then you have to ask, is everyone who's here from Stonefield under 35? Is everyone here from Stonefield under 30?
No, wait, is everyone here for apply?
Yeah.
These guys, yeah? Yep. We're here to support.
I mean, I'm running, you know. It's ridiculous, it should have taken me.
I'm just assuming we're doing a redevelopment, that's nice. Ridiculous. You know where the pet supplies was?
Yes, it's all good, man.
That's incredible, honestly.
Okay.
What's that?
That's incredible.
young enough.
It is.
That was small
I'm
world.
just amazed by that.
You ever,
Go
against-
I'm a Maplewood resident, as well, my family.
I would say that's another small world. They're right down, right down.
Right,
the way,
they're right
yeah.
down. I had a client, he was we didn't really object to him. He was in litigation with Owen about the Sparta shop right.
Oh, yeah, that was always a pain, right?
Yeah. So
Basically drilling a hole in the wall.
I got involved because his first attorney was the municipal attorney, is the municipal attorney for West Orange.
Yeah,
At the time, I was the board engineer,
yeah.
so I felt kind of obligated
The thing is, I
to
wouldn't.
you know, take on the work because you recommended it.
Yeah, of course.
Parking's the most important.
And then they bounced, he got fired and I got bounced from West Orange.
That's good. Yeah.
Are you the, are you the?
I'm the board engineer.
New board.
Okay, so you're the one we're making the case to? Can we just?
No, to them.
them.
I don't vote. I just give them my advice,
Recommendation.
which is all in my letter and everything is pretty clean. You don't have any stormwater that I can pick on. You know, I mean, Millburn's really good about putting all the documents on their website, so you can go in and see. And when you look at the High Center, I mean, it's like 30-something document, it's ridiculous.
Every meeting you came to was a different revised application.
Yeah.
You were going crazy, you know, how can I get comments, they just gave it.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, I would just end up going to the website and downloading it because, you know, they never sent it. Even though they asked to have it sent to the objectors council, they didn't. So we would just download it off the website. But you're right, Jason, I don't like doing that kind of work, but I get kind of arm twisted into it. You know how that goes. Most recent Parsippany for the mayor.
Right.
111 votes out of almost 19,000.
Or something, that's a big turnout.
I'm surprised. I thought that once he won the primary that he wouldn't have that kind of a challenge. Oh crap. He lost the council though. His two running mates lost.
The whole council in the summer, but
Did it?
still have a Republican mayor, but the three councilmen were, one of them was a good friend of mine. She did a great job,
Was it a big,
but it just doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
Democratic town.
was it a big vote shift?
What's that?
Was it a big vote shift when we lost?
She lost by like 100 votes, I'd say like 5,000 people in her district or her ward. So it's really close. But no, they didn't win by a lot in 23. So it was, and when they did, it was like, it's usually Democrats, so it was a big surprise.
Yeah. Parsippany flip-flops back and forth. They had traditionally had Republican council and a Democratic mayor. And then it flipped. And now it's flipped back, except they have a Republican mayor and a Democrat majority council.
Big thing in here, like 2,000 vote difference we're gonna have a charter study commission. We have to update our form of government, we're still governed in like the 1890s. But we really have to become a Faulkner Act, and
Is it a Faulkner Act?
we're not a
Oh.
Faulkner Act, so there's certain rights we don't have. And then the question whether to go to nonpartisan or maybe have, if someone has like wards, we don't have that, you know, so some like
Yeah,
consideration
you're a township committee, it's, you just elect,
at large.
and then they pick a mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no-
How did this town handles all the housing that's going up? I mean, the school was already mobbed when I was here.
That's,
I mean, the one they built by Canoe, that's Millburn. I know some of this is Springfield, but
what happened here? They made a settlement. And they said on July 30th, 25 minutes notice, 45 minutes notice, they're gonna approve a settlement. I'm the only one that goes to the meeting. I said, how can I know the terms before you approve it? No. So that woke up, you have the community that they're approving the settlement, not telling anyone where they're putting the house
with the home builder.
It was one of them, they said, we're gonna put something on our recycling center. And the other one was, like, we had homes in the agreement. Like, here's what our VL are, we're fully developed community, we have done it because of what they did at the Upton and a few others. And these other two projects, the one right next to the reservoir, they're bonus projects. And the dump, and they didn't tell anyone, everyone says, like, why are we buying a lawsuit?
Well, they sell them as low income housing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The dump one is 100%, 75 units of affordable housing.
Oh, it's 100% affordable?
Is it actual affordable?
No,
Because most of them are like
No,
10 units
no,
and then the rest
The
is.
question is, they're gonna be coming here, some point, they haven't come to the planning board yet. Then you have the one, next to the reservoir where they carved out,
Right.
And not saying, can we know the terms, what are we doing?
I just don't know where all the kids go, like, the schools are,
That's the one thing with the whole affordable housing thing is, the courts mandated it. Then the legislature adopted rules and Fair Share said, do a plan, and they laid out a schedule.
But
and just said, well, here's your number. And then
Everyone
you would
looked at it.
fight it,
but
because
isn't
we're municipal engineers up in Stanhope. And, it was like, we don't have any land, and what land we do have, the DEP took away our sewer service area, we can't put sewers,
That's what we're talking about.
so it's like, where are we gonna put it?
But isn't the affordable housing thing a racket? Most of it's not affordable housing, like some of it, they tried to.
Well,
But that's the
it's-
mixed use.
You have to,
But
it's
there's-
inclusionary
but that's-
housing, it's
that's-
not, which has an affordable component, but it's inclusionary housing, so they get private developers, who we all work for,
Right.
to build it, and they have to set aside,
15 to 20%.
well, now it's 20%. Under the fourth round, you have to set aside 20%, unless you're like West Windsor, like Jason knows, is 25% of a project is affordable housing. So, to get, say, if your obligation in the town is 200 affordable housing units, you have to build 1,000 to get, unless you find
No one's gonna do 100%.
somebody's gonna do 100% affordable, and there are, but most of those projects are no more than 20, 30 units generally.
They want 75 here.
It just always strikes me as bonanza. Something that doesn't really help affordable housing.
Well, it does, because at least it gets built.
Yeah,
But-
but not much of it is actually affordable.
Well, no, 80% is
That's not
market.
much.
I know.
No one's really, there's also been a vacancy where all the new projects, let's say they remodel, radius, like all the projects, on the road.
Yeah, the Chatham one?
Yeah, Chatham was like, it's on the board like it's. on
Yeah,
the-
that looks really affordable.
Now, how many units are, of that project, how many are really occupied? Look at the
I
projects that they're
know.
building, they built here in front of the fire station. Now, how many units, it's like a 30-unit building, it's like.
So they fill up pretty quick. I mean, at least,
It's affordable, but I'm saying, the non-affordable, people are saying, well, I can spend $6,000-7,000 a month in rent. The only people who are doing it saying, well, we're leaving the.
or do I want to pay $30,000 a year in property taxes, which comes out to what? We'll make it 36,000, $3,000 a month, just in property taxes. That's buried into your rent. So, I mean, you know, you have a big home in a lot of Essex County, and you're paying a lot of money in taxes.
Huge.
Usually when you get there.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Worked it out with Dawn.
So, but,
I spoke to her.
that's
She said she was happy with
the way it's been, you know.
I know, it's just.
But I'm not gonna disparage all these guys because half of our business is multifamily
I'm
residential.
not playing cold, I'm just saying, when we stop acting like this is all about creating affordable housing, it's not.
What gets me is if there wasn't a market for housing, I mean, New Jersey has a lack of housing, period, not just affordable housing. Any kind of housing, because you build this stuff and they're full. I mean, my office is in Parsippany. They tore down 2 office buildings, one next to me and one across the way. And they built, I think it's 400 and something total apartments, 2 Avalon, well, they're just finishing them up. And now they're tearing down office buildings and building warehouses.
So that's it, I mean, you see that when you go way up past 10.
I'm by the Hilton
Yeah.
on Route 10.
Yeah, there,
Yeah.
past the Wegmans, you see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No,
And then they have something on the other side, it's a massive project, you know.
yeah, I used to work in Lananex, right off Parsippany Road, Route 80, 287. There were 10 office buildings in there. I think there's 3 left. They tore all of them down, which were built in the 70s. And built $1 million townhomes, and I forget, I think it was like 500 apartments. And they still have another building to go.
You don't watch what's gonna happen.
Eric, who was when you were at Almond before, who was the older guy?
Yeah,
that
they're built.
was
Oh,
so-
the living space. I'm thinking
Did a lot of reviews.
The one out Sun's gotta be a mess.
Super,
I mean, the older guy besides me was Stan.
No, there was a guy there,
He wasn't an older guy. I mean, I had Frank Russo,
no.
Jim Woods.
I got nothing
He
to
was
do.
like part-time and would help out.
You had the pockets going.
Like, he was really like an older guy.
Exists.
Make money.
Make money, that's taxed and pays
Oh,
for it.
come back.
I don't remember.
He was like semi-retired and he was helping.
I don't remember.
When I was at Gibbons, I remember I had a job. Plumbing and like behind. It's very complicated. We didn't know.
Wasn't shorter.
No, it wasn't sure. It was not.
Eric.
That's because he said it was going
Eric.
Oh, he still works for me. Yeah, he's still part-time. He's older than me. Huh? How old is he? 70-something? If I knew his license number, I could give you an idea.
So it's probably what my dad did.
Probably. His license, I know, is in the 20s. I know all these guys are, you know, they're in the 50s. I don't know if they've got the 60s. You know, now I'm the old guys, mine's in the low 30s.
I think my dad's is. Like, that was.
Yeah.
So.
You didn't do reviews,
I had to deal with it. Frank.
Yeah. mean, if you wanna make one room.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
The opposite of the bottom.
It's actually fun. Let's go for it. Talk to Webster, see what you can do.
I'd like to make a motion to reopen the public session. Do I have a second? 1 second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Could I please have a roll call?
Corey Biller,
Here.
Allison Canfield. Here. Michael Cohen,
Here.
Deborah Nevis. Here. Frank Sacamandi,
Here.
Michael Zion.
Here.
Jonathan Baxter.
Here.
Sergey Sidsto.
Here.
Srini Vijay. Gaston Haber.
Here. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Next up on the agenda is the application 25004, New Creek 2 LLC, 800 Mold Turnpike, block 1904, lot 105, for minor site plan approval with change in use. The representation for the applicant.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Jason Sudell, attorney for the applicant. Sorry if I sound a little under the weather. So this is an application for block 1904, lot 5, at 800 Morris Turnpike. As the chairman indicated, it's a change of use which triggers a minor site plan or site plan approval as part of the application. There's no site improvements being done. This is just an interior fit out. So essentially what the project is, there's an existing Club Pilates within the retail shopping center that's located at the property. Luckily for them, they're doing well and they're waitlist at their current facility for classes. And also lucky for them, the Lash Studio next door went out of business or closed down a little while ago. So the goal of the project is to take that old space that was an eyelash studio, combine it with the existing space to have one Club Pilates facility. So the existing Club Pilates will just expand into the existing space. The existing space is approximately 1,500 or 1,400, or excuse me, the new space is probably 1,400 square feet. None of the hours of operation are going to change. So the way it operates today in terms of hours will be the same. Currently, right now, they can fit 12 customers at once or 12 people exercising here at once. When they open up the additional space, it'll be an additional 12. They'll be able to stagger the two classes. They'll have two classes occurring at once. They'll stagger them 15 minutes apart so people aren't coming at one time. So it'll essentially operate the same with just another space right next to it. The application is fully conforming. There's no variances associated with the project. We did get review letters from your police, fire, engineer, planner. We take no issues with any of the comments in those letters. I think the police department had no issue. The fire department was more of a code compliance, which we would have to anyway. And then we have no issue, obviously, with Mr. Keller or with its apology letter as well. One question that did come up, and I can address it now, because there was another tenant in that space, the Lash Studio, there was another sign for that business. There's no proposal to add any more signage. So the Club Pilates has an existing sign, the Lash Studio will come off, they'll just paint over that, and there'll just be one sign at the facility. So I just have one witness that I plan on calling, our site engineer, Michaela McGuire from Stonefield Engineering and Design. She'll walk through the site plan, which is really just the interior fit out. She'll go through the operations. I do have other people from the project team here in case there are questions. But with that, if there's any questions for me, I'd be happy to call my first witness.
Before we do, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I did have an opportunity, speaking for the mic, that's not much. I did have an opportunity to review the notice. I found the content to be sufficient. I found it to be timely served and published, certified mail and published on October 24th, both at least 10 days prior to this evening. So from a jurisdictional standpoint, it certainly appears that the notice was sufficient to provide the board with jurisdiction to hear and decide the application this evening. And with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I could swear in the one anticipated witness, as well as our two board professionals. If all three of you will raise your right hand, do all of you swear to God or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you all. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
If I could qualify, Ms. McGuire for the record, please. Michaela, if you could just give the board the benefit of your
educational background, licenses held, and experience testifying before planning and zoning boards in the state of New Jersey.
Yes, so my name is Michaela McGuire, last name spelled Maguire. I'm a project manager at Stonefield Engineering and Design, located at 93 Park Avenue, Weathersfield, New Jersey. I'm a licensed professional in the state of New Jersey. My license is in good standing. Professional engineer in the state of New Jersey, license is in good standing. I received my Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Delaware in civil engineering. I have about 8 years of experience in land use development in the state of New Jersey. I've been accepted as an expert about 30 times across the state.
Would the board accept Ms. McGuire?
Yes, and you're testifying as a engineer, civil engineer?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you are acceptable to the board as a civil engineer.
Thank you.
All right, Michaela, why don't we start with existing conditions, just orient the board to the site and where the property is located, and then we can go into the change of use proposal.
Okay, is this a good spot for this?
So I guess Steve will mark this as A1.
Everyone, yeah.
If
Yes,
you could identify.
Not, it's colorized, so.
correct. So this is an aerial exhibit prepared by our office. It's dated November 4th, 2025. And I marked it as A1.
And was it superimposed or colorized from one of the site plan sheets?
It's from an aerial from Google Earth.
Oh, but we didn't have an aerial, that's right, we didn't have an aerial. Okay.
So as mentioned, the site is located at block 1904, lot 4 and 105. The address is 800 Morris Turnpike. The lot's about 12.9 acres and it's located in a split zone. So the front half of the site is located within the highway business, the B2A zone, and then the rear is located in a residential zone, the R6 zone. The site's located at the plaza at Short Hills. To the rear of the site is mostly a residential single-family homes. It's located within that R6 zone. To the east is a mixture of commercial and residential. To the west is a mixture of office and commercial, and then to the south, which is the township of Summit, is again mostly commercial uses. Currently on site, there are 3 existing buildings. The total building coverage on site, I do want to clarify, is 93,295 square feet. There was a note that there was a discrepancy between the survey and the traffic report, so I do want to clarify that that is the correct square footage. There are 3 buildings that make that up. There's currently a grocery store to the west side of the property, that's about 60,000 square feet. There's a Chase Bank in the center, that's about 3,000 square feet. And then there's a retail strip to the east side, that has about 12 different tenants in it, and that's about 30,000 square feet. All the existing buildings on site are proposed to remain, and the vehicular access point is from the DOT road, which is Morris Turnpike. Again, all of that is proposed to remain as part of this application. I'm gonna bring up the submitted change of use plan.
So this was submitted to the board, Steve. Do you want us to mark it or just?
You don't have to, it was submitted more than 10 days in advance and it hasn't been colorized or changed, correct?
Correct.
All right, so just identify what sheet it is. Yeah.
Yep, it's sheet 1 of 1 on the change of use plan, and it's dated July 17th, 2025. So if you look at the retail strip that I was mentioning before that has 12 tenants, about in the center of that, there are 2 hatched out tenants that we're showing. One is the existing 1,400 square foot Pilates. The one to the right or east is the existing Amazing Lash Studio. That's also 1,400 square feet. As mentioned, Club Pilates is proposing to renovate that 1,400 square feet area. So the new total Club Pilates square footage is going to be 2,800 square feet. Sorry, I'm keep rotating, but I'm going to flip now to the interior proposed renovation, since that is the majority of the work that we are proposing on site.
So we'll mark this as A2.
Correct.
Just identify it for the record.
Yep, and this is the proposed interior fit out of the existing Amazing Lash Studio that is shown on the right side or the east side. So in the front, the applicant is proposing to remove the existing door that used to go into the Amazing Lash Studio. There will only be one main entrance, and that is going to remain where it is in the existing condition. As mentioned, that's why the existing sign is going to remain over that main entrance, and the applicant is just going to remove the sign over where the Amazing Lash Studio was. The applicant is proposing to remove a portion of the wall along the front, so the lobby will extend across the entire frontage. And then as you move to the back, the applicant is essentially proposing to mirror the existing studio within this new area. So the existing studio has 12 stations, so it's a max of 12 people per class. They're gonna match that within this new location, so they could have 2 classes going on at once. And again, that will be 12 people per class at a maximum. In the rear, the bathrooms are proposed to remain in the same locations. The storage is proposed to remain. Both the egress doors in the rear will also remain in the same locations. The only change is the applicant is proposing to move the personal training room into this new fit out, just to have more room in a bigger area. As mentioned, the max class size for this studio is 12 people. So under existing conditions, the total amount of people that would be within the studio would be 16 people. So if you have 12 people taking a class, you would have 1 instructor. And then if there was someone taking a private training class in the rear, you would have another person taking the class and instructor. And then if there was someone sitting at the front desk at a maximum peak hour, you would have 16 people. With this additional studio, we would be adding 13 people. So we'd be adding another class of 12 people plus 1 more instructor for a total of 29 people. Again, the addition that this would bring is a total of 13 people.
And all the classes you have to sign up in advance, correct?
Correct, you have to sign up in advance online for these classes, so you don't just show up and hope there's, a spot. The class length is 50 minutes per class. Usually they leave about a 10-minute buffer. So on weekdays, classes start at either 6:30 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. And they essentially run every hour, and then up until about 8:30 p.m. On weekends, the classes start about 7:30 a.m. and run to about 1:30. With this new studio, they may stagger the classes, every half hour or so. No change to the proposed deliveries or trash operations or any of the operations on site, since everything's gonna still, run out of this existing Pilates studio. Moving back to the change of use plan, I just wanna touch on some of the exterior improvements. As I mentioned, the only exterior improvement is the removal of that sign. Everything else is proposed to remain the same, so there's no change to the proposed lot area, lot coverage, building setbacks. All the buildings and parking is supposed to remain the same. We did review the parking demand since we are changing the use of the studio. The existing Amazing Lash studio required 7 parking spaces. This new Club Pilates will require 14 parking spaces. So that means the parking requirement itself is going up a total of 7 spaces. The total required parking for this entire development is 570, and the existing parking spaces on site is 692. So right now, the site, even with this additional 7 space requirement, is 122 spaces overparked. In addition to that, we did do parking counts on site to confirm that the site did have the capacity for this additional 7 spaces. We originally counted the entire property on a weekday and a weekend. We did find that at the max or peak hour where most cars are parked on the lot, there's still 65% of the parking spaces are open, so there is capacity. And then coming out of the TRC meeting we had, we did count the parking spaces specifically right in front of this retail strip. So this somewhat triangular portion. There are 206 parking spaces within that area, and we counted on a Thursday between about 8:30 a.m. to 2:45. And at a maximum, there was 60 cars parked, which was about 29% of the parking spaces full. So about 70% of the parking spaces open.
So there was 60 parked out of 200, how many?
206,
206.
correct.
Thank you.
With that being said, we did get a chance to review the engineering review letter, the fire review letter, and the planning review letter. There was no comments we cannot comply with.
And the police department had no concerns, correct?
Correct.
So just to wrap up, there's no variance relief being sought. And based on the parking studies that we got, that we did, the parking requirement is still met.
Correct.
And in fact, we're well over parked.
Correct.
And just to be
belt and suspenders. We studied in the front of the exact Pilates studio as Mr. Keller had requested, and then we found that there was more than enough capacity right in front.
Correct.
And we studied it during the peak hours of the club Pilates to be sure it coincided with the business.
Correct.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any questions from the board? You say peak hours, that's in the morning?
Yeah, there were two peak hours. I believe it was from 8:30 to 9:30, like right after people drop their kids off from school, and then during the lunchtime. We studied the whole day. Sorry.
That's just a clarification. You had mentioned there was only the sign on the exterior, but did I hear you say you're gonna remove the door from the other
Correct.
property? Okay,
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that just, this is one entrance for no confusion.
got it. I just wanted
Yeah.
to clarification. Thank you.
And on that, everything was okay with the fire marshal on that one?
Yeah, all those were code requirements that we would have to comply with, no issue there.
Okay. All right, thanks. You have a question on refuge generation? Don't expect any more refuge generation with the addition of the 14 people?
No, and with this use, it's a pretty low generator, usually 1 to 2 bags, a week.
Okay, and no activities out on the backside of the building,
Only for refuse.
only for
There, just a question, there were bathrooms in both stores, and you're keeping both sets of bathrooms?
Correct.
Either of our professionals have any comments or questions?
Just have one question I didn't catch. What time is the Pilates studio open on the weekdays?
Weekdays, it's either 6:30 or 7:30.
Okay.
Some of the mornings have a 6:30 class and some just start at 7:30.
That's all I have.
No, we were just limited to signing details and clarifying. So
Thank you very much for your testimony. Oh, sorry. Questions from the public? Are there any questions from the public? No. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
You know, there's some, we don't put it up for public, comment, and then what I would imagine is a brief summation.
All right, are there any comments from the public? You have a brief
Sure,
summation
the
for us?
application fully conforms, we work to make sure we address the PRC and the board professional comments. So I'd ask the board to approve the application as proposed with any of the conditions being, meeting any comments in the letters that, are outstanding.
The summation's similar to what Mike teeing it up would be. It's site plan approval for conversion of use. Moving into the addition that is vacant. And fully conforming as confirmed by our planner. And all the conditions stipulated set forth in the various reports.
I move to approve. Second. Roll call, yes. Can we have a roll call, please?
Corey Biller,
Yes.
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Michael Cohen,
Yes.
Deborah Nevis,
Yes.
Frank Sacamandi,
Yes.
Michael Zion,
Yes.
Srini Vijay,
Yes.
Gaston Happer,
Yes.
and Jonathan Beck.
Yes.
Great, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, for our last order of business this evening, we have ordinance 2719-25 up for master plan consistency review. Let's see, it's, we did have a discussion on proposed ordinance, amending and supplementing the Township of Milburn Development Regulations and Zoning Ordinance. Article 5, Design and Performance Standards, PRZ 503, Site, Building, and Public Realm Design Standards. Ms. Golda, can you walk us through this ordinance, please?
Sure, and Graham promised I wouldn't have to speak.
Oh.
Good evening, and thanks for having me back. So before you is an ordinance, and I'm sure this board is well aware of the process where when the governing body introduces an ordinance that impacts you call it the DRZ, a land development ordinance, this body hears it for master plan consistency. What this ordinance does is it makes development more walkable, attractive, and sustainable. It's an ordinance that creates a public realm section to your DRC, specifically a brand new 503 site building, public realm design standards. Our office did distribute a memo. I just want to confirm you guys have it. And what this does is the direct response to several pages within the master plan, different objectives. I'm happy to go through them all, but I will just refer to the memorandum and the exact page numbers. But essentially you have a series of recommendations around mixed development, maintaining safe pedestrian circulation, certain parking in the central business district, et cetera. Just things to improve the ordinance. It's not uncommon to refresh the ordinance from time to time as a response to your master plan. So our office reviewed it. I can answer specific questions, but we recommend that this board find it consistent, and then the next step is it would go to council. But I assume the second reading
And public hearing.
and public hearing.
Do you, I don't know whether you can answer this or just the TC members. It's just, when it's a comprehensive change, like an addition, is this benchmark, or who drafted the insertion of this 503?
I believe it was a committee.
Yeah. Graham did the main drafting of it, and then the committee reviews it, and then that is correct. So-
Went through the zoning code examining.
Exactly. Any comments? Deborah, maybe?
Yeah, I have. So there's one section, it's this section. Section for specific building design standards, and it was under.
Or straight. Like,
It was section C 4 to D under non-residential windows. It says that there can be stained glass only for transom and accent windows. And my question was whether this would apply to religious institutions which sometimes have stained glass windows, and how accent windows were being defined, and whether if a religious institution wanted to add stained glass, how that would be impacted by this.
So this section lives under a header that says non-residential, mixed use and multifamily buildings. So it would be my impression that this is not applicable to House of Porch.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's under, let me find that one.
So on the ordinance itself, the 11-page ordinance,
It's C4,
stained, translucent, decorative glass may only be used for, so that's like a number 3.
Isn't it non-residential?
yeah, but it's under non-residential, a house of worship would be a.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I thought in my head residential.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks for correcting me there.
It says.
Yeah,
um,
okay.
Stained translucent or
Yeah, I
decorative glass
see.
may only be used for transom and accent windows.
So it might have to be reviewed under design consideration.
Okay, so is that something that we
If the
would then
board,
ask the township committee or?
as
the
what the
body?
board can do in conjunction with its determination on consistency with the master plan, can make recommendations to the governing body. If it is the board's pleasure, I could modify the resolution that we have that simply says it's not inconsistent, but we leave a little space. If there's any recommendations, actually, we leave as much space as you want. If the board so desires, they can make a recommendation for the governing body to consider accepting either houses of worship, or it may be that since we generally consider houses of worship together with schools and other public assembly uses, if I recall correctly, generally that's what is done. The board may wish to make the recommendation that houses of worship, schools and other public assembly uses also be considered for exception from that or modification to that requirement, if that's the desire of the board. And again, when I lump together schools and assembly uses with houses of worship, the general philosophy there is to ensure that houses of worship are treated the same as those other assembly uses. Whereas here, arguably, if houses of worship were the only ones accepted from that requirement, houses of worship would be treated at least the same, if not better, than those other uses. So I leave it to the board. And I hope I didn't complicate it too much. But I think it's a good catch. And I believe Graham did as well. Okay. So whatever the board decides to do vis-a-vis a recommendation or not in that regard.
And if anybody has been on the board long enough, they should have seen a lot of these topics have already come up with other applications. And Graham pulled in all of those and also looked in surrounding cities to see what they were doing. So it's not only what our experience is, but also what the experience of other townships put into it.
And I agree with what there was.
I do too.
We just make it.
I'd like to make a motion, whatever you say. I can't possibly repeat it.
That's what,
So we knew-
you're not alone, I can't either. No,
Find it not master.
Right, in fact, what you can
Any
do.
recommendation be made to maybe consider an exemption.
Are there any other comments before we do?
I have some comments.
Okay.
Specific ones. Do you want to go through them first before we get, okay. So mine's just little things, but, so this is section B 4(3). In addition to long-term bicycle storage, multifamily buildings shall provide common area storage rooms for oversized personal mobility equipment such as strollers, cargo bike, walkers, scooters. The size of such common storage be no less than 15 square feet per 10 dwelling units. That's pretty small. That's 5 by 3. That you'll fit one stroller into such a room. So all of those should be in singular: stroller, cargo bike, walker, or scooter, but not at the same time. Just saying that's very small. So 15 square feet, if that's what we want, that's fine. But my recommendation would, it's actually going to serve the purpose of storing more than one of those things above. A stroller will take up 5 by 3 feet.
Double or single straw?
Doubles more like 6 by 6. I had twins. So I'm just suggesting that maybe we want to increase that.
I think at least check on it.
Yeah, I'll just
also-
clarify whether that's exactly what we want, because it's a tiny room, 15 square feet is impossible.
Right, 3 by 5.
3 by 5,
Yeah.
which stroller is about what, 2.5 feet, 2 feet wide.
Collapsible.
Oh, if you want to stack it up like that, okay, let's pick one of the other ones. Cargo bikes. Walkers, scooters.
That is, the 15 square feet is a minimum, but you're suggesting you may want the minimum to be greater.
Maybe I want the minimum to be greater because I think 15 wouldn't be good function. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's all. We don't have to argue it in great detail. It's just suggesting we want to make it bigger. The minimum. I also had a question on C three A5, what is EIFS?
EFS, it's basically like fake architecture.
That's clearly something we don't want, but I didn't know
It's
what it
like
was.
some towns really have to prohibit it, otherwise you might get lost site plans where people cheap out.
Okay,
It's basically like drywall for the outdoors. It's exterior facing installation.
okay, but that's a common term, so we don't need to spell it out, people all know what it is, but
Yeah,
that's what
pretty
I'm saying.
terrible.
It's fake stucco, basically.
Okay. And then under 4, specific building design standards under that. So that's C4, C1. Windows and transparency, this comes up in many places, but just the wording I didn't fully understand. Street facing facade shall have at least 25% transparent glazing on the first floor. Given the context, I assume that means 25% of the area.
Trying to hit the buzzword.
Sorry, yeah.
Street,
For C1.
I see it on D1, you're saying it comes up several times though,
Oh, C1 is the first time I saw it, so it's like,
so it's in 2 spots then.
that's in like 4 or 5 spots actually. So C, building and design standards, C, section 4, specific building design standards. Section 1, sorry, attached dwellings to townhouses, C, windows and transparency. Part 1.
So the question is,
What did that 25% refer to? Is that the area coverage of the transparent glazing?
like on the first, my read is of the first level, 25% of, I guess, what would be that story maybe?
It
Has
has
to
to,
have at least a quarter of it glass, and that's to kind of activate and look inside and not,
okay, right,
you know,
because there's another
take that.
alternative, that's what I thought it meant, but it also could be interpreted as the glass has to be at least 25% transparent.
oh,
not
like
sure what
the
that means.
shading of
Yeah,
glass.
like can't have totally tinted windows. which
You know, that's the
doesn't make
thing
any
with zoning, you'll always find that they'll bend the words, like.
Well, that, I thought it's just
the
not,
way you interpret it.
but that's okay, if it's a
I
term,
think the
if it's a
intent,
term of
though,
art, we can leave
yeah.
it, that was more of a clarification.
You don't wanna say 25% of the area of the facade?
Yeah, I think if that.
I think to spell it out might be good, because otherwise it's not clear what the 25%
Helps,
refers
like-
to.
Future gray area not to interpret it.
And then flip over, so same section 4, specific building design standards, 2, non-residential mixed use. A4 heights, part 2, says upper floor to floor height shall support long-term adaptability for residential or office uses. I'm not sure what a floor height that supports long-term adaptability for residential or office uses means. I'm guessing it's high enough that you could put a drop ceiling in, is that the idea? So you could convert residential to office, but I'm just guessing.
I don't know if there's something particularly regulatory about this exact language, but, like flex. I tend to agree with what you mean.
As in, I don't know what it means.
No, that, like a flex, you know, high ceilings, I think is what we're going for here.
Okay, this is very vague as it stands.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, right, that's my only comment there.
I don't disagree with that.
Yep. And then commercial part 3, I guess of the same section. No, part 4, conditional uses in residential zones. A, massing and scale, part 1. There's only one part. Buildings shall reflect the general scale of nearby single-family homes using pitched roofs, articulated entries, and windows at pedestrian scale. So my question is about pitched roofs, because we now have quite a few homes being built that don't have pitched roofs. So that would not reflect the general scale of nearby single-family homes if they all happen to be some of the bottom lines that are getting put up.
Well, you get this in place before many of those modern homes go in place, the predominant roof in that area will still be pitched.
We could just ask for pitched roofs rather than saying it has to reflect. Otherwise, it's right. I'm saying not necessarily.
Or maybe adding for example, instead of that it has to have it.
Yeah, using
Alex, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, I was just looking at that, now that he mentioned it, kind of, shall we, would it be better if we just said pitched roofs?
We mandate pitched roofs. I suppose.
I think in here, somewhere it says that flat roofs are permitted.
I mean, do we necessarily want to, if the market wants different architecture, do we wanna? And seemingly people are doing it and the prices are going up. Do we
Yeah, but I
wanna,
also think there's a lot of people that are in these neighborhoods where someone comes in, puts in modern home, not happy about it.
But this isn't gonna change that, this is just for
This is
additional uses in residential zones.
Right.
So this is just saying if you're in a, I'm really hypothetical, because I don't think we have enough density in these flat roof cabinets yet. This is triggered, but at some point we may do. And then it'll be like the scale of nearby single family homes would suggest a flat roof, not a pitched roof. It's not that important. The other thing I wanted to mention here was, what does windows at pedestrian scale mean? So it says articulated entries and windows at pedestrian scale. Does that mean low to the ground or, okay?
Well, I'm the last person you should ask on the attorney.
No, but you indicated something.
That's how I understood it.
Yeah, I mean, the name of the ordinance is like public realm, so I think it's referring to your experience on the street.
So the window not too big, is that the idea, or?
is there a way to say that people would understand?
Yeah, that would be better.
We like. saying
Compliance is
ours.
better when people understand the language and people, but. Same thing with enforcement.
Because there's various points, also we talk about site lighting later at pedestrian scale, again, what does that mean?
Right.
At pedestrian scale, it'd be good to clarify that.
We approve with recommendation that they review the language of pedestrian scale.
Yeah, well, my provide a definition, put that at the,
I mean, for lighting, pedestrian scale means that you have like 8 to 12 foot poles as opposed to 20+ foot.
so it has a definition for engineers, okay.
I mean, is it hard and fast? No, but it.
It has a
it's-
meaning.
It goes to the theme of a streetscape. I'm an engineer, I don't deal with buildings, I don't know what it means when a window is at pedestrian scale.
Probably, it makes sense to not floor to ceiling glass wall. You know what I mean, that's probably.
The intention there?
Right, needs to say
Okay.
that, or.
It should, because that wasn't clear to me at all what it actually meant, I'm not just being like picky, to say, I honestly didn't know what it meant. And signage too, at pedestrian scale. Later, site lighting at pedestrian scale. And then section H, parking should be located behind the building, does that also apply to a corner lot where there's technically no behind the building?
Repeat that one again, so I can pull it up.
Oh, sorry, it's conditional uses in the residential zones again, part H, parking. It says parking shall be located behind the building.
Behind the,
But if it's a corner lot, there's technically no behind the building, isn't it?
might have to read your definition of a side and rear lot. I mean, I think the intent is to not have front yard parking.
That is the intent.
Yeah.
I think it'd be impossible to comply with this with a corner lot. Anyway. I'm gonna rush out of one. D, public realm and streetscape standards. Part 3, part 1, street furniture. Street furniture such as benches, waste receptacles and bike racks shall be provided every 75 feet of building frontage. So does that mean one of each of those? And it says such as, so it doesn't really mean that, but it doesn't actually specify anything really there. Maybe just any one of those has to be every 75 feet.
Yeah, it's a list of examples and it's intended to give a metric to your frontage, your width. So let's say you have like 100-foot wide lot, I guess a bench or take your pick of one of these.
Okay, so it really just means pick a bike rack, a bench, or a waste
for my
receptacle and put
street
one of those every
furniture,
75 feet.
Such as benches.
Okay, I was just checking that was what it wanted. That's it.
Can we change the order of how we do this? I feel like these ordinances should come here first before they go up for first read, because what'll happen is we'll make the recommendations here, it'll go back to the township. Township committee must adopt those recommendations, then they have to renotice, and then it's dragged out another several meetings. Now, I assume because this went through the zoning code examination subcommittee, that some members of this board saw this and can't get everything, but seems like there's a number of things in here that are ambiguous and probably need some clarification. So I don't know if there's something we can do, body public, but we can take to the PC to make this more efficient so that planning board reviews these things before they go to first read. I don't think they do that anywhere else.
Yeah, the governing body introduces and on second read adopts. And in between, must give the planning board an opportunity on referral to weigh in on the master plan consistency. However, the governing body does not have to be the body that starts the drafting process. So if the governing body so desires, the governing body can ask the planning board to take the first crack at the ordinance. Or the planning board frankly can make recommendations to a governing body, can put together an ordinance and say, hey, we think this is a good ordinance, why don't you introduce it? The genesis does not have to be from the governing body for the first draft. However, the 3 steps still have to take place. The governing body must introduce, the planning board must have at least the opportunity, statutory timeframe to weigh in on master plan consistency, and then the governing body must at least 10 days after the initial introduction have the second reading, the public hearing, and ultimately, presumably, the adoption of the ordinance.
Can the governing board at the second reading make these really minor changes?
Governing bodies can, on second read, do not have to delay if the changes are not substantive.
Right, because all of these are just nitpicky, like they're just for clarification purposes, right? That's what
The
they're for.
township attorney is in the position of advising whether changes, and by the way, these are recommendations.
Right, I understand.
All of them could become changes, none of them could become changes, but the township attorney would weigh in on whether or not it requires restarting the process, so to speak, and having to reintroduce the ordinance if the changes are of such a significant nature or not.
So that's really the issue. If anything we're saying here causes the process to restart or causes us to have to do a makeup bill later on to fix any of these things.
Or the subcommittee that, or review committee that is involved in the process pre-introduction, is the review committee involved pre-introduction? You could have membership of a certain body, certain planning board members who are very comprehensive and diligent in their analysis of the ordinance. That's another. Just saying.
Just a word, we are very comprehensive and.
All
these go
members
through
are very
multiple iterations. We do miss stuff and some we've let go because we're very particular, a lot of us.
I actually let something go there. Can we go back to that?
We train, like, we know, we try to head off the problem, so we don't get these. And yes, we know that 2 of our members are very, very particular about stuff.
The perfect ordinance has not yet been drafted.
It's challenge
May never
accepted.
be.
I mean, this draft probably went through us, 5, 6 times maybe. And the thing is that when you start putting too much language, then it starts to restrict things. So we kind of teeter on what to put in, what not to put in. I think what everyone brought up was definitely more definition of what things are. Maybe we could ask that this ordinance, the second read, goes with the definition on some of these words, and that's minor enough that I think it doesn't need to start over.
That's really the attorney's decision, that's the issue. I mean, as we said, we're good at looking for, and all other similar uses, that's a red flag to us, we know from everything else to get rid of it, but like anything else, and even at our meetings, you know, you have, 6 people looking at it, somebody's not there, they come, they look at it the next time, and they have their set of changes, and so do you guys, so it sounds like perhaps there is a change in the workflow, so that from the zoning subcommittee, it comes here, so that people here who are not on the zoning code committee can put in their changes before it goes first read, so we don't end up having the double.
Yeah, we don't have to let that hold it up, but I think in the future, if we have the zoning code examination subcommittee, they come up with something that they're gonna send to the TC. Should simultaneously send it to the planning board, and anyone that's on the planning board that, you know, reads their email and looks at it. Have an opportunity to weigh in before it goes on the township committee agenda. I think that would streamline the process, because this is, I think, the second time this year where we've had something come through and we've wanted to make changes, they weren't necessarily substantive enough to make it worthwhile to delay the ordinance, but it is something that has.
Well, we
to
had
get
one where
addressed.
they were considered substantive, so we passed it as is, and then we were
Right,
supposed
we
to
have
go back
and do a makeup
do it
bill.
again.
Right.
Right, and that made it even longer before it took effect, so that's what we really want to avoid. So that would do it, I mean, before, you know, it should come to this group then before it goes for first reading.
I don't know if we have to codify that, the township committee level, or we have members of the planning board on that subcommittee, whether it can just be transmitted to the planning board.
Can we make a recommendation, the planning board make a recommendation to do that?
I think we should, yeah.
Brad, just like if there's.
Yeah, so long as there is it's not an ordinance that would be contradicted by that process, and I doubt there is, even if you have a zoning, it's called zoning review subcommittee. It probably, I'd have to check the ordinance, it probably doesn't say thou shalt not give it to the planning board, thou must give it to the governing body first.
Established by ordinance, or whether that's a resolution every year. I don't remember. Because some committees that we have are done by resolution, and they have to be reintroduced every year, the reorg.
They're not standing subject.
Right. I don't know which one this is, but either way, we should probably make a recommendation. So the TZ. Consider it.
To do it in that order, whether it requires an ordinance change or not, and I would imagine it's very unlikely that it would require an ordinance.
That's the recommendation we should probably make independent of
This
one. Does with respect to this ordinance and this master plan consistency review, is it the pleasure of the board to find that the ordinance is not inconsistent and to make some or all of the revisions that were proposed, or recommendations, excuse me, that were. Would it be all of them or some of them? If it's some, which ones?
All of them seem minor,
All of
right?
them.
So I would say all of them.
Pretty minor.
Okay, good enough. We'll have to coordinate and make sure we have a modified version of this resolution, but it will be, you can vote on it for adoption, right? We'll just have it reflect what you adopt,
The
what you
attorney will
decide.
have to decide, but, you know, whether it needs to be reintroduced or whether it passes as is, and then the changes are reintroduced.
That may or may not have an impact on what the board, how the board does what they do. Excuse me, the governing body. So I think we have a motion and a second. I'm taking your.
No, go right ahead. I'm waiting, if one was coming and I'm waiting for him to
Just
do it
before we
again.
do that, and if it is reintroduced, then the one that's reintroduced with the changes, that comes back to the planning board again the second time.
There always has
So,
to
I
be
mean,
the
it's-
master plan
Right,
consistency
so I mean,
review
it
in
just
between.
it just gets circular. right?
It's a little, it's
Going.
Yeah.
the ideal is to have it introduced very close to the way it's gonna be adopted.
Would anybody like to make a motion to find it not inconsistent?
And make all recommendations.
I move that is not inconsistent and that we make all the recommendations.
Adopt the resolution accordingly, I'll modify the resolution.
And modify the resolution according to the recommendation.
We have a second? Roll call, please.
Corey Biller,
Yes.
Allison Canfield,
Yes.
Michael Cohen,
Yes.
Deborah Nevis,
Yes.
Frank Sacamandi,
Yeah.
Michael Zion,
Yes.
Srini Vijay,
Yes.
Justin Hopper,
Yes.
Jonathan Baxter.
Yes.
All right.
If we have to make a motion, make that recommendation that. The, for things that come through the zoning code examination subcommittee, when they're sent to the TC for consideration, they be simultaneously shared with the rest of the planning board. And that gives the planning board members time to weigh in, doesn't hold the process up, but gives them an opportunity to weigh in, find items that can then, you know, the TC can address it when they do the production.
And I think that communication does not require a resolution. Say, it could be a memo, be it from a planner or me, combination of the above. So, if that's the recommendation, I think a motion second and a voice vote will do that.
Motion's made, I'll second it, and all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, with that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No? Motion passes.
Yeah. Finally. We said that.